This committee is considering a proposal that will increase costs for everyone. The Chamber estimates $1,000 per family per year, create massive uncertainty in the economy, threaten major employers in places like Linden and Paulsboro, and invite years of costly litigation paid for by taxpayers. This is not responsible government. The Climate Superfund is not a mainstream policy. The legislation would impose massive retroactive financial penalties on companies for activities that were legal, regulated, essential to modern life, and in many cases actually encouraged by government. If this becomes the standard, what company will invest in New Jersey, knowing that compliance with today's laws provides no protection against tomorrow's politics? The message this legislature would send is unmistakable. Even if you follow every rule, even if you comply with every regulation, we may still come back years later and hand you a bill worth billions. That is not justice, that is not fairness, and it is certainly not how you build a competitive economy. It's no wonder companies like Honeywell, ExxonMobil, and Samsung just this week announced that they are leaving New Jersey for places like Texas and Florida and the Carolinas. The Climate Superfund would give the companies that remain yet another reason to leave. Supporters insist consumers won't bear the cost. How could you know such a thing? What happens when energy producers, refiners, suppliers, and investors respond exactly as economic actors always do when governments impose massive costs and uncertainties? The people who end up paying are usually the people who can least afford it. There are also serious legal concerns. New York and Vermont are already being sued over similar laws. More than a dozen states have considered the Climate Superfund, looked at the example of New York and Vermont and said, no thanks, that is too extreme for us. Yet New Jersey is once again racing to the front of the line to test the most aggressive, the most legally questionable version of the Climate Superfund possible. Shouldn't we allow the courts to resolve these fundamental constitutional questions before exposing New Jersey taxpayers to years of costly litigation? Because that's how this goes down. If the bill becomes law, New Jersey will spend years and millions of dollars establishing a bureaucracy, conducting studies, hiring personnel, and defending lawsuits before seeing a single dollar in revenue. That is not sound government. Finally, we cannot ignore some of the things that make New Jersey unique. Unlike some of the other states, New Jersey remains home to major refining operations that between them, in Linden and in Paulsboro, support 35,000 New Jersey jobs, generate $1.4 billion in state and local taxes. What's going to happen to those workers and their families? The governor says her top priority is making New Jersey more affordable. This bill does the opposite. I saw the name was changed this morning to add in the word affordable. It doesn't change a thing. It will drive up the cost of energy. It tells businesses that rules can change decades later. It embraces dubious legal theories. This is not mainstream policymaking. It is economic recklessness. For the taxpayers who are getting squeezed and the ratepayers who still haven't seen relief on their energy bills, we should oppose this bill.